friends, my name's Rainey, and I am going to do the small BookTuber tag today. I was tagged by Catherine at Taking Tea with Catherine, and I was tagged way back in September, and I'm just now getting to it because I have been tagged in quite a few things in the last month and a half, and I have had no time to film it or no energy. So let's just get right into it because I feel like the more I talk, the more I'm already going to be answering these questions. So, question number one, or prompt number one, is to introduce yourself. I'm Rainey, and fun fact, I was tagged by Taking Tea with Catherine. My middle name is Catherine, so we have a connection, Catherine. We're kindred spirits just because our names are similar. But also, I think we would be friends in real life because she seems fun. I am a secretary and I live in a small Pennsylvania town. I am a kind of a cross between a city girl and a country girl. I love to go to the city, but I also like to leave the city and go home to my rural community. I just like the atmosphere of small town living. I like that I know a lot of my community members and I'm friends with a lot of people who have grown up here like me and never really left. um, and Also, I am very active in my community theater. I used to be a lot more active than I am now. I took a 3-year hiatus after probably doing maybe close to 4 to 5 shows a year for about 4 years. I took a 3-year hiatus, just burned myself out, and I've recently kind of come back to it, although my plan at this point is to not be that hardcore anymore. I just, it's draining, and there's a lot of other things I like to do, such as BookTube and reading and just getting to hang out with friends and not having to be at a place every day. So I want to do, maybe 1 or 2 shows a year, but that will be plenty. I recently was in Shakespeare in the Park in the summertime, Romeo and Juliet. I was Lady Montague, Romeo's mom. So that was a nice, small, easier way back into theater role for me. And then I just finished a comedy it has a very, very long name, but it's basically about a community theater group who is trying to put on Macbeth, and they're horribly bad at it. So it was a very physical comedy, a lot of hilarity and physical prop gags and things like that. So it was really fun, and I had a really good time, but it was really tiring. So there was not much energy left at the end of the day for BookTube for the last month and a half. What else about me? Oh, I like to drink coffee until 5 when I switch to wine. That if that doesn't say Rainy in a nutshell, I don't know what does. Coffee till 5, wine after 5. It's 5 o'clock somewhere. Actually, it's probably about 6:30 in the evening. So, and this is only my first glass. So, yeah. So that's about it. Did I say I'm a secretary? I did. I really like my coworkers. I like my job. I've been there for years, and I'm really lucky to have the job that I do. I like. It's got its stresses, like everything else, but on the whole, I am very aware that I'm very lucky to work in a good office. So, all right, let's move on to prompt number 2. How long have you been on BookTube? I am coming up on a year on BookTube. I started on December 28th of 2018, and I believe that was a Cloak and Dagger Christmas wrap-up. I I should have checked that before I started this uh, vlog, or this tag. What am I doing? Um, but if I can find it, I will link it below. I mean, I'm sure I can find it, but um, and don't laugh at me too hard. I actually haven't watched it in a year, so it's probably not that much different from where I am now. Let's be honest. But yeah, I'm almost at a year, and I have some fun things planned for the end of this year and hopefully for next year. Now that I've gotten some wind under my sails, so to speak, we'll see if I can up the ante a little bit in 2020. What type of videos do you make? I make all the typical things, TBRs, wrap-ups. I've started to do reading vlogs, which seem to be pretty well received. I'm not really sure why, because I feel like I lead a pretty boring life. If I'm not at the theater, I'm home. So I don't know, but apparently people seem to like them. I enjoy doing all the readathons. I like to mainly do the monthly readathons. We are in BookTuber right now, and it is probably, I say this about a couple of ones, but this is probably one of my favorite readathons of the year. Yeah, I just love doing all the readathons and participating with the communities that do those. And that leads me into the next prompt. What do you love about BookTube? And my answer is the pat answer of community. I've made a lot of good friends from YouTube. I mean, we haven't met, but in real life. But I have found Voxer from doing BookTube, and I talk to people like almost on the daily through Voxer now, and just through Instagram and BookTube and all of those things. I just feel like I've really met some really amazing people that, and some of them that went to college and things kind of near me, and like we kind of have an idea of where each other is from, and when I talk to them and I mention like places that are around here, they're like, oh yeah, I remember that place. So that's fun. And yeah, I've met a lot of nice people, and it's really fun to have friends that like the same things you do. I mean, I feel like most people, when they have friends, they have similar interests, but um, yeah, I like having a lot of friends that like the same things as me. And actually, a lot of my in real life friends who do not have BookTube, since I've started BookTube, they have become much bigger readers than I ever thought that they were. I mean, they may have been, but they'd kind of gotten out of it. And then whenever I started this, they started like telling me what they were reading, and you know, just talking it up all the time. And I was like, oh, is this a result of me doing BookTube? That might be a little presumptuous of me, but but I like to think that I somehow influenced them in a good way. Next question is, what type of books do you read? I pretty much read widely, but I would say that my favorite books are the classics. I have just really gravitated towards those through my year on BookTube. Like I said, my two of my favorite readathons are ShakeTube, which is Shakespeare for a month, and Victober, which is Victorian literature for a month. And those are just some of my favorite things. And I've found a love for middle grade fiction. I'm not a big fan of YA, but you go a little bit younger, and I'm all for it. Um, so yeah, I've really discovered that even though I'm not in college anymore, getting a degree in English literature, I still gravitate towards those books. I am not a big fan of contemporaries. I try them, and some of them I like, but on the whole, I just really like the feel of classic literature, classic writing, and just those themes. I'm not really sure why, but they warm my heart. Oh, and I also have gotten into cozy mysteries, which brings me to another thing that I should have said in my introduction. I also like to write, and I will be participating in NaNoWriMo this year, and I'm going to write my first cozy mystery. Oh, let's see how that goes. I'm not hopeful that it's going to be any good, but we're going to try it. So, all right, next question. What is your favorite video that you have made? That one, I think I would go with some of the vlogs that I've done. I did a Dewey's 24-hour readathon vlog a few months ago, and I really enjoyed that one. I thought it came out really well. And then I also did a cozy reading night vlog that I also really enjoyed doing. So I think I like the ones where I just take like one day or a weekend and kind of pack a punch in that weekend. So I might try to do more of those instead of the big week-long vlogs at some point in the future. I still like to do the long vlogs too. So, but yeah, those are two of my favorites. I will link them below because I think they turned out pretty well. I was kind of proud of myself. And the last question, last prompt, is to tag some other small booktubers. So for this, I went through my feed and I found some people with either around the same amount of subscribers as me, which I have about 420 some, or lower. And I came up with Victoria from A Musical Bookworm, Amanda from Booked with Amanda, and Linda from Linda's World of Books, which I came up with that list a little while ago, so they may have more than me by now. I don't know. I mean, that's just the criteria I went off of. If they had my level of subscribers or a little lower. So, but yeah, I love those ladies. I think they're really sweet, and I would like to see their introductions. I would like to know more about them. So, all right, friends, I have rambled a good long bit, and it's time for some wine. And I'm going to go read some more Victorian literature. Maybe take a bath. Oh no, I'm not going to take a bubble bath yet. I'm going to film more tag videos because that's all I do now. All right, friends, I will talk to you soon. Bye.